Hi, everybody. My name is Buddy Guy. Thanks for tuning in. This is my show, Buddy's Review Show. And on this episode, I want to talk about a great new album called Somewhere Under Wonderland by Counting Crows. Now, if you are a Counting Crows fan, I hope you do yourself a favor and pick this one up because to me, this is one of their best albums ever. I've been a Counting Crows fan going back to 1993 when they released their legendary. I was debating whether to say legendary, but it is. It was one of the best and most successful debut albums ever by a band. That album was called August and Everything After. Fantastic album. I think a lot of Counting Crows fans will say that that's their favorite Counting Crows album because it was their first, thing that they put out. Had a lot of classic songs on there, but this new one's really great. I'm going to say I'm not going to say it's as great as that album, but I'd go so far already to rank it in my top 3 favorite Counting Crows albums. For me, it'd be August and Everything After, Hard Candy, and now this one, Somewhere Under Wonderland. And why do I feel that way? Because well, it's filled with great songs. There's no song on here that I find myself skipping over. Almost. Sadly, so many albums that we get, we tend to skip over songs because, there's some clunkers here and there. I'm not going to say every song on here is like the best song ever written, but there's a lot of great ones. And for me, I love Counting Crows' harder rockin' songs. For me, I think they're underrated as a rock band. I mean, they've got a lot of course, very, very popular songs, a lot of songs that have made like the top 40, a lot of big things you hear on the radio. But very often they're not like their harder rocking songs. I guess the hardest rocking song that was a hit was Angels of the Silences from their album. Looking at my list here, drawing a blank, Recovering the Satellites, which was their second album. There's some songs on here. There's actually one song on here that kind of reminds me of that. It's called Dislocation. It kind of has an Angels of the Silences kind of vibe to it. It really kicks ass. There's some other kick-ass songs on here too. Like I really like Earthquake Driver. And there's one on here, I loved it as soon as I heard it. It's called Elvis Went to Hollywood. That's a great song. Also some great slow songs on here. There's the closing song on this album is called Possibility Days. And I'm seeing a lot of people online say that they feel that this is one of their favorite songs on the album, if not their favorite, their absolute favorite from the album. So if you're a Counting Crows fan, check this one out. You're guaranteed to like it. And, even if you're not a Counting Crows fan, you like good music, give it a listen because fantastic musicians in this band. Dan Vickery on guitar, he's a fantastic, underrated guitarist. Adam Duritz, of course, is the leader of the band, songwriter, lead vocalist. He sings with an awful lot of passion in his voice. He writes fantastic lyrics. None of that has changed since the first album. He just keeps getting better and better. So check that out, Somewhere Under Wonderland by Counting Crows. Also, I want to tell you about some books that I've read recently. In the past couple weeks, I've read 2 books by an author named Stephen L. Moss, and they are both in what is called the Paul Kingston Mystery Series. Now, Paul Kingston solves murders, but Paul Kingston is not a detective or a police officer or anything like that. He's a musician. So if you tuned into this show because you're a music fan, I think you might really like these books, like I did. I mean, I love mysteries. That's my favorite genre. But also, I love how music is weaved into these books. Paul Kingston, just as a little bit of background, he's a bass player, but he was in a band that was sort of on the verge of really, really hitting it big. And then things happened where that fell apart, unfortunately. And since then, he's been working as just like a gigging musician. He'll do like he'll go around from band to band, just to like earn his money. He plays like in a Steely Dan cover band, and then he works with like country artists. He does all different kinds of things. In the first book, the singer for his former band, the one that was like on the verge of hitting it really big, is murdered. And Paul, unfortunately, becomes the prime suspect in the murder of the guy's name is Billy Reno. And Paul, to clear his own name, goes about solving the murder. And it's really good. It's a great mystery. And I love the music stuff in there. It's really, really cool. And the second book in the series, it's called Autumn Leaves. And in that one, Paul's working with yet another band. He's working with a jazz band. And the leader of this band is killed towards the beginning of the book. And because Paul got sort of a reputation after working on the first case from the first book as someone who knows a little bit about solving murders. So the widow of the person who's killed in the second book comes to Paul and asks for his help because it seems like the police aren't doing much to help solve the murder of her husband. And Paul goes and starts investigating, and it's cool because it's a great mystery. It's hard to figure out. It's told in the first person, which I love about mysteries in general. But so you also hear like this guy who's pretty much an amateur sleuth trying to solve what's going on. But you also hear his thoughts on what's going on in his life musically. Like there's a scene in there. There's a couple scenes where he's talking about just what it's like being up on stage and playing. And as a music lover, I love reading that kind of stuff. It's easy for me to almost hear the music and see what all these other musicians look like. Very, very compelling books. I read both of those rather quickly. Two of the best books that I've read this year. So if you're a mystery fan and you also love your music, I think there's a really good chance you're going to love the Paul Kingston mystery series by Stephen L. Moss. And here's something too. If you want to find out more about those, I actually interviewed Stephen L. Moss on my other show. It's called Buddy's Writing Show, and I'm going to put a link somewhere in one of these corners. After I post this video, I'll put a link there if you want to check out that episode. But I thank you very much for watching. I encourage you to go check out the new album by Counting Crows, which again is called Somewhere Under Wonderland. If you love good music, I think you're going to love that. And if you love good mysteries, especially ones, if you're a music fan, I definitely check out the Paul Kingston books. And I thank you for checking out this show. If you're new to the show, please consider subscribing. I'm going to have a new review up every week. I'm going to mix it up, have music, movies, books, and I've also got my writing show too, which can be found on this channel. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. May it be filled with awesome music, awesome books, awesome entertainment. Have fun, right? That's what life's about. Have as much fun as you possibly can. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you around. Bye.